When it comes when it comes to anime, it's very much clear that many cases of it is very interesting in itself. Well, most of the time there are very good shows, other times they're often scoffed at by many people. But however, anime is kind of here to stay, and ever since then it became somewhat of a accepted archetype into the media culture. However, even then, even if discounting anime, it's very hard to say that if a show fails on its own dime, even if it has just many episodes. There's reasons for types of shows to fall off the scurvy. Sometimes the company will cut it off, while others will simply get into the darkness of things. However, there is one specific anime that have since been considered a very interesting high remark to being canceled despite its very actual positive reviews. And that has to be Interspecies reviewers. Interspecies reviewers was a story mostly known for being somewhat interesting at its best. As you can tell from this title card and this parental warning, this book was definitely rated M for mature into higher marks to a very interesting subject. Pretty much the story was actually pretty straightforward and simple. It was about two guys, a elf and just a regular guy, coming across a angel who fell down and, because his halo was broken. The simplest terms of the story, however, is these guys, along with a group of other men, are known for interviewing majorly and just keep it brief, just a bunch of whorehouses. Yes, I know I'm cutting off slack with that, but it's just being factual. But pretty much they go around interviewing sexual areas where, sexual service is given towards, from the monsters, as you can tell. And both the show and the manga definitely showcase, mostly despite its weird plot, actually showcase a lot of positivity towards the idea of sexual culture. So if that is the case, then, and the fact that this thing was censored when the anime debuted in January, why was it very cut off in the same month from Funimation, and even then didn't last long as it was cut off in March? Well, the answer to that is super simple, hence why this video is probably my shortest whatever happened to video, if consider anything. And that is because the problem is literally censorship and also kind of an interesting gimmick. Let me explain. You see, Interspecies unfortunately came in around the same time during the culture of cancel culture and a lot of sensitivity towards stuff. And it's no doubt that many people would have seen, of course, Interspecies offensive. Even though that really wasn't the case, you gotta remember there's other people who definitely thinks that way. And of course, due with serious situation recently with many people not liking anime that much, being mainly the adult parents and some older adults who hasn't got up with the times, it's pretty clear that with the whole censorship with that thing was not very well even received. Even though Interspecies did have heavy censorship, since Japan also kind of has its own censorship like that, with the whole black shadows and all that goofy gosh, it wasn't really received well due to the content nature, because you are applied to know they're having sexual intercourses. Plus, also, the reason why I bring all this up is this actually is the secret reason why Funimation removed it. Believe it or not, they even kind of jokingly said this, saying, quote, "It follows all our standards," when it was removed in January. Which isn't actually a surprise. You see, Funimation, like many other companies, which I talked about before, has been trying to clean up their act. For example, I talked about how Super Mario Logan got ceased and desist by Nintendo because they are trying to clean up their act with the whole BML and of course the LGBTQ plus thing. Even though many people think they want to do that, however, due to timing, yeah, now they're actually doing it. And the same thing could see at Funimation because they are seeing this series as offensive towards women and many other standards. And I know a lot of people are saying that these guys had did something before, which I definitely agree because apparently they're the one who airs some weird anime that I know of that was similar in nature, concept, even more pornographic to be fair. But due to this being recent times, Funimation, like many other companies, are now trying to clear up their image, which is literally just being factual since every single company is clearing up their image to go through with this new modern time of we're not having this F bullshit thing. So it's pretty much clear, which is kind of sad because interview species, especially what even I looked at for, I could somewhat agree that it's not full-blown hentai, aka sexual porn anime. That's what it's called. I mean, we'll just say it's clear. And the reason for that is kind of debatable of that, but I can guarantee that it's not really far off too close to the sun. And I do have some other theories as well why Funimation may have removed the series, because there's also been things about the fact that then later on the artists try to go to other publishers and they would do a dime of the series because of its sexual nature, so it's pretty clear that, it was cut out. And again, this is kind of sad because there's other animes that got away with this. The more recent one, if I can recall, even though I forgot the title, was the guy who wanted revenge, the night guy who wanted revenge and back in time and all that bullshit. You know what I'm talking about. But still, it's kind of interesting. But again, the real answer to this thing, hence why this video is probably my shortest whatever happened to yet, is because of, the whole system of cancel culture and the fact that, recent times cause for recent censorship. Which is kind of sad because, reasons. But we're just going to have to deal with it because, this kind of also confirms why Triage X is never coming back. Just FYI.